All right, that is the reflection of the fake sun that's hovering over this apartment building, and that is the specific environment as exposed. When you're comparing it to the Ontario Police gang stalking, that is stalking a woman in violation of the Violence Against Women Act, and also gang stalking in violation of my constitutional and human rights by the police department, which is representative of the City of Ontario, demon-possessed gang stalking in concert with the demons that are inside of this building, units 49 through 64, where criminal interference with quiet enjoyment is underway, as evident through the supernatural, that the sun would be in any position to reflect off of this windshield, where it is documented in video where the Ontario Police are gang stalking and the fake sun is over the same building at 5:40 p.m. and also at 6:33 in the morning, where the fake sun is reflecting off of the windows of this building right here, where I'm at the same location. Units 33 through 64 are engaging in what is bathroom monitoring. They're monitoring my vagina, my genitalia, while I'm indisposed inside of the bathroom, where the entity is keeping the specific environment where this is all engineer light. This is for monitoring purpose. This is for gang stalking by residents, and everybody gang stalking by residents in units 33 through 64 are going to federal prison. They are gang stalking on behalf of the U.S. government, and it is evidence that is going to prosecute Jason Isaac Fields in particular, who is engaging in what is the satanic targeting system, the sex offense, which is built into that targeting system, and also with impunity and malice. This barbarism, which is also predatory and very mentally deranged, is relevant with regard to the criminal conduct by the government. There is no sunlight that's going to appear, first of all, underneath the covered structure. Second of all, no sunlight that's going to be the product of what is engineer light that's inside of this apartment, where the sun you see is outside reflecting off of a windshield, but you have what is light that is plastered on the ceiling remaining in the dark. This is the entity that's engaging in surveillance relevant to this engineer light that's covering everything, and it's also inside of the apartment building, where amplified booming is heard at what is it's currently, by the way, 12:53 p.m. This is heard at 12:51 p.m., where the entity is gang stalking by virtue of the maintenance of disruptive and terrorizing audible activity, amplified in volume, pursuant to my location in the apartment where the fake sun is rising and setting, where engineer light is present with regard to ongoing ceaseless surveillance, which is also satanic. This is psychological torture that the people of the state are going to federal prison for. It is currently 12:54 p.m. The entity is gang stalking. Remember, the 3:37 p.m. fake sun is over the same exact location where it would be reflecting off of this vehicle in the parking lot, where license 8 Wendy Henry Charlie 403 is gang stalking by coming onto the grounds, targeting with the demons in units 33 through 64 who are going to federal prison. The demons that are gang stalking under the fake sun by crossing path with the African American female who is under the fake sun at what is 6:33 a.m. Are gang stalking with the demons in units 33 through 64, where the fake sun would be reflecting off of a building. This is the same building where it is above to be reflecting off of a vehicle in the parking lot of the same address, the same property, the same building at that property where I'm at. This is where the demon possessed in units 33 through 64. Daryl J. Carter and AVANATH Capital Management, Linda Reyes, and every other employee are going to be prosecuted for criminal surveillance, psychological torture, the perpetual sex offense, and also what is being in violation of the Violence Against Women Act. The entity is doing so while they are aware of the fact that they're being documented. This is impossible lighting me. This is the engineered light that's covering all of the property outside. These are the circumstances where the entity is engaging in what is going to be prosecuted as criminal interference with quiet enjoyment, which is also committed by this supernatural maintenance of light that manifests in the shade, pursuant to demons who are engaging in stalking as a community, stalking as a municipality, stalking on behalf of the U.S. government, and stalking in violation of your constitutional and human rights where the government has no warrant or probable cause. This is the engineered light that's manifesting in the shade. It is appearing inside of the living room, at a distance, upright on the wall, where you are looking at what is a covered structure, where you're looking at the distinction between supposed concentrated light versus shade, and you have the manifestation of light out of nowhere. This is all engineered light, and that is not the sun that is evident remaining over this apartment building where the people of the state are gang stalking. This license 8VKP279 is going to be prosecuted for gang stalking. They are gang stalking as an entire apartment complex. The entity is engaging in what is bathroom monitoring at 12:49 p.m. The entity is keeping this fake sun, and this is the engineered light That is again manifesting out of nowhere. It starts right here on the inside of the building. The fake sun is outside of the building. The fake sun is the means of identifying the crime scene where surveillance is underway by a community, which is on behalf of and in concert with the state. And the state is engaging in what is the United States government's pattern of conduct. None of this is going to create the light that you see on the living room wall manifesting in the shade back here. That's the pattern of conduct, and this is stalking by the people of the state. He's going to federal prison, license 6YOZ533. He's gang stalking unit number 43. And he's doing so while engineer lights appearing in the shade. That's the malice of stalking under a fake sun, and this is the police department gang stalking through the people. He's going to federal prison for gang stalking on video with impossible light. This is a psychopath that keeps their back to you, and you can see him driving under the fake sun, and engineer light swipes all across the carport over there where the fake sun is still here after 4 p.m. This is how the people of the state target together. The demon in unit number 43 is gang stalking under the 11 a.m. fake sun, and they're all sex offenders engaged in criminal interference together as one while they keep their back to you like delusional psychopaths who are already surrounded with the body of evidence. And all of them in this building and this building are going to prison for their demonstration of mental illness, because that's what that's showing. It's not showing innocence, it's showing malice and psychopathic tendencies. The entity that is gang stalking under the fake sun, amongst impossible light activity, amongst amplified audible activity, where the fake sun is rising at 6:33, reflecting off of this building where this demon is stalking, where the entity is keeping the fake sun at what is 5:40, and the entity is keeping the fake sun over the same building. You're looking at gang stalkers. All right, and this is a male that's monitoring my vagina, stalking a woman, and a sex offender is a coward that keeps their back to you, and the entity is doing so engaging in what the city of Ontario, what Alan D. WAPNER is doing under the 4:40, 5:40 p.m. fake sun with commercial planes, while the entity, why I reference my vagina, and the entity is hostile to that, amplified plane activity, license 7YEH777, she's going to prison, and license 6YOZ 333. Pay attention to the fake sun. At 3:04 p.m., the Ontario police flies right over my head where the people of the state are engaging in gang stalking with impunity. They engage in terrorism with amplified audible activity. They engage in terrorism with stalking under a fake sun with impossible light. And then the cowards and the sex offenders keep their back to you, but that's okay because the entity is going to federal prison for it. Let me show you the fake sun where you see it at this location at 9 o'clock in the morning, and a demon that's a violent sex offender stalks you with impossible light that moves all around the building while they keep their back to you. All of these psychopaths in these two buildings are going to federal prison and mental asylums. That's mental illness exhibited while they keep their back to you and they're targeting you, which is evident in the specific environment. This is never going to create any sunlight around Tracy Banks' front door. It's not going to cause my shadow to appear inside of the living room, upright on that east living room wall. That is the evidence while the entity is engaging in the demonic in plain sight with the amplification of plane activity. The slamming of the doors is the hostility of demons that behave like barbarians when they're stalking with audible noise in the path, where this sidewalk is a means of pacing on an ongoing basis, and they get in a frenzy and they get excited every time I pull my panties down. These are the sex offenders going to prison in units 33 through 64. It is currently, right now, that's the city of Ontario sounding plane engines as I reference my vagina. It's 12:59 p.m. This is the same engineer light coming through with a crack in the door where Tracy Banks was walking out under the cloudy sky, and the engineer light is coming through in the same exact manner. You'll pay attention to the images I took. This is the same exact light activity. It's impossible light activity. It has nothing to do with the fake sun. It's engineer light, regardless of what color it is. And demons are monitoring in it. This is the same exact impossible light coming through the peephole where Tracy Banks is walking out and molesting me with engineer light. The engineer light that you see manifesting in the shade as you open up the blinds and you see the faces that are gang stalking as a senior citizen community where a fake sun rises and sets. All right, this is relevant to what Jason Isaac Fields, a demon that's monitoring in the spirit. This is what he's doing with the state of California. The U.S. government gang stalked me with the very unintelligent and inept group of demons, the state of California and the people of the state. And this elderly community, they're going to be prosecuted under the Violence Against Women Act. They're going to be prosecuted for gang stalking with the government. They're going to be prosecuted for federal stalking under Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. And in units number 33 through 64, and the employees of AVANATH Capital Management, including Linda Reyes, they're all going to prison. It is current. Let me show you this time. That's the fake sun. The entity is at 1 p.m. keeping this fake sun where it's going to set as late as 6:13 p.m., which is also on the record, where this same exact impossible light activity is present at 6:13 in the evening. That's called stalking with light, and that's what the demons at Unit 43 are doing while they're in the path in this specific environment, focused on me. That's what you're doing in engineer light. You're focusing on the targeted individual. It is also evident to what the entity is doing in LA, same time of year, under the fake sun, which is speaking to targeting by me at an apartment complex with the LAPD, the city of Los Angeles. It is currently, again, 1:01 p.m. The entity sounding plane activity, as I referenced my vagina that they're keeping under surveillance, that's the same city of Ontario. Alan D. WAPNER, Mike Lorenz, Paul Leon, the entity that's gang stalking with the fire department, which Michael Gherkin is engaging in monitoring me with as well, obsessed with my vagina that I reference, and then they sound audible activity that's amplified, where no planes coming from the Ontario International Airport are going to be in any elevation to hear them, and also that simultaneity of plane activity is speaking to surveillance, knowledge, hostility, a threat for a prosecution. P.O.C. It is currently 1:01 p.m. This is bathroom monitoring.